Alright, so today we're going to be continuing the FPS tutorial, again, gun game, whatever you want to call it. So all I've changed since last time was I made the projectile gun automatic and the hit scan gun semi-automatic. So yeah, first thing we need to do is go ahead and change the projectiles to disappear when it hits an enemy, or I guess anything. So let's go into the projectile script, and when we collide, let's decide if we want to destroy it. So let's go ahead and create a private bool so we can have some options here, and we'll do destroy on anything equals, I guess set it to true, doesn't really matter, whichever one you want. And then if we hit destroy if anything, we will destroy this game object, and then if we also hit the enemy, we'll destroy the game object. Oops, and I'm actually coming back and editing now. We don't want to destroy, we want to actually just game object.setActive and set these two false. And the reason for that is the objects of the projectile, let's remember, are being object pooled. So when we start the game, we have this neat little pistol pool here, and if we destroy them, they won't return to the pool, and thus we won't have the performance gain we want. So now that will destroy it when we hit anything or the enemy. Yep. And importantly, if we want to toggle it, where's our projectile? There it is. Alright, now we can have it bounce off stuff while still hitting the enemy. Cool. If we want. Next, let's go ahead and add a rigid body to the player and set it to is kinematic, and one for the enemy, set it to is kinematic. I think we can just use gravity off, since we'll add in controls later for the enemy. And now we want to make some sort of ADS system, so let's go ahead and prefab the player, and then right click the player, open in isolation. And we need to make some sort of viewport route for the gun to be an ADS, so let's create, I'm going to go ahead and create a cube. I do this just so I can see what I'm doing. Make it really small, and I want it to be right in front of the player camera. So I guess if the player camera is over here, yeah, maybe something like that. You can always adjust it. And we'll call this ADS route. And if you're wondering how I'm actually making this tutorial, I'm just taking scripts from my current zombie game I'm working on. So we're gonna make ADS next, so let's go ahead and create a script called aim down sights. And instead of writing it all out and wasting your time, I'm just gonna copy paste it here from my other project, because it's just some variables and this original angle, which will get the original gun root angle. Then we want to add the script to our player. Let's move it up so we can see it better. And we're going to set our main camera and our gun camera, which is just called camera here, let's rename it, and our gun root, and then our ADS position. And then we need to make a position where the gun is, so let's make a copy of the ADS root, and we can remove the box collider on both of these and disable the mesh render on the first one. And this needs to be exactly where the gun is, or the guns are. So let's copy the position, paste it from the gun root to the new object we just made, and call this the gun position. See, that should work. It might be off, we'll find out. Put the gun there, gun position, and then we need a reload position, so we'll disable the mesh render there, and we can duplicate it one more time and call this reload position. The reload position is going to be again in front of the player, but I'm also going to rotate it 90 degrees this way. Disable that, put the reload position in the script, and nothing is happening because we need the input. Alright, now we need to make the aim down sight code. So let's go ahead and make a few variables for the aim down sights, the FPS controller, and the aim gun at Raycast. So for the aim gun at Raycast, we will take the variable and we will equal it and find object of type aim gun at Raycast, because we just want to find it. It's not actually the parent. And then for FPS controller, we can use get component and parent, because it is the parent, the player is the parent of the guns. And then for aim down sights, that is also in the parent, so we can use get component and parent aim down sights, and just ignore that. And then we need to make a couple more variables. So we're going to need something to tell if we can ADS. So private bool, and that's going to allow the gun to ADS or not. So if you want a gun that doesn't ADS, can't aim down sights. And then we're going to need another serialized field, private float ADS zoom. And we'll start this at 60 because that is the field of view of the camera. And we're going to be changing that to zoom in. And we're going to write a header here because lower is higher. So the lower, higher zoom. So the lower the number is, the higher the zoom is. And then we're going to make another serialized field, private vector3 ADS offset, and we'll just set that to 0 for now. Then we're going to come down here and create a function called disable ADS. It's the function name, and we will take the FPS controller and get the look speed and set it to the FPS controller.start look speed, and we will get the aim down sights dot main camera dot field of view equals 60, or whatever you're using as your default field of view. This is going to reset the FOV and reset look speed. Alright, and then aim down sights dot gun camera dot field of view equals 60f, and then aim down sights dot gun root, there it is, dot transform dot position equals aim down sights dot gun position dot transform dot position. This is resetting the gun to the gun position. All right, and then we're going to aim down, or actually aim gun at Raycast dot enabled, and we're gonna enable it because we're gonna disable it when we aim at the Raycast, so the gun isn't going all over the place. And then we want to actually do it. So let's go up into the update. We'll just go right here in front of everything else. If can ADS, if input dot, and I'm just gonna copy the code from down here. Change that to 1 for right click. And then reloading equals false. The float result equals mathf dot inverse lerp 0 to 60 ADS zoom, and that's going to basically clamp it and make it a percentage. FPS controller dot look speed equals results times, I don't know why I have it in parentheses here in my notes, but I'm gonna go with it. So FPS controller dot look speed, there we go, and then aim down sights dot main camera dot field of view equals ADS zoom, and then aim down sights dot gun camera field of view ADS zoom, and then aim down sights dot gun root equals aim down sights dot ADS position dot transform dot position plus offset. What's wrong here? Oh, I needed to get the transform dot position. Then aim down sights dot gun root dot rotation dot transform dot rotation equals quaternion dot look rotation aim down sights dot ADS position dot transform dot position. And above this, aim gun at raycast dot enabled equals false. Alright, and then if we can't raycast, we're gonna just go ahead and disable ADS. Okay, and then if we aren't ADSing, we're also going to disable ADS. Shoo! So now, oh, what's happening? Something is wrong with the rotation here. You ever have one of those moments that's just like, the f that I do? Having one of those, like, see, it's working, but oh, that's it, right here. So I was just going full speed, brain not even thinking. We needed to look at the transform dot forward of the ADS position, so we were getting the direction. So now, yay, the gun points where it's supposed to. The hit scan gun zooms in way too much, so I'd already set it earlier, so we'll set that back to 62. We'll go ahead and punch it in 55 for now. So now we have, there we go, much better. For whatever reason, I can't seem to aim while aiming down sights with the Raycast gun, but I can with the projectile gun, so let's figure that out. Alright, so as you can see, something drastic is happening with our look speed when using the Raycast gun. So that's how I found the bug. Now let's fix it. Yep, okay, that fixed it. So we need to make a toggle. So I'll just do that and redo it real quick. So we need to make a private bool called is aiming down sights, which is false. And then when the gun is enabled, so each time we switch the gun, we need to set it to false all as well. There we go. And then we will go to here, and if it's false, we'll do the aiming stuff. And then we'll set aiming down sights to true, copy, paste that at the bottom of disable ADS, and then set it to false. There we go. And now all of our guns work without bugs. There we go. Perfect. Now let's add a crosshair. So we're going to create a UI canvas, and we'll just leave it as canvas, and we'll create a UI image. And then we'll also create a empty object, and we'll call this the crosshair. Bring that image down into, make it the child of the crosshair. Set it to 0.1 on the X, and we can duplicate it and rotate it, and now we have a little crosshair. That's a little too fat, don't you think? So we'll thin her up, and we can make it smaller if we want. There we go. Make it a little bit thicker, not that thick. There we go. Nice little crosshair. So now we can aim down sights, and we have a crosshair. But one last thing we want to do when we're shooting from aim down sights, particularly when using Raycast, we want to shoot from camera. So let's go to our gun script, and if aim down sights is true, we're going to want it to shoot from the camera. So let's find where the hit scan is happening. So in our fire Raycast, if aim down sights is true, let's go ahead and make a private vector 3 position to shoot from, and we can make that transform dot position. Actually, we want that to be the else, and we'll replace this position with the position to shoot from. Let's go ahead and move this back at the top so it's not ugly. And then the position to shoot from, if we're aiming down sights, is going to be main dot is it main dot camera, or is it camera dot main? Camera dot main dot transform dot position. So now when we aim down sights with the Raycast, we'll have a much more accurate Raycast shot than when it's coming from the barrel, which is how they do it in FPS games. But you can leave the projectile coming from the barrel, since the projectile is aiming for realism to begin with. Oh, and one last small thing. If you ever get this little error, there's 2 audio listeners in the scene. Please ensure there's exactly only one. Just type in audio listener, all one word, into your search bar, and it will pull up where your audio listeners are. So the problem is we have 2 cameras, and cameras always come with an audio listener. So let's go to our gun camera and just remove that audio listener. And then to take advantage of that reload position we made earlier, we're just going to copy the stuff we made for the reload, bring it down into the is reloading function part. So while it's reloading, and then when reloading is done, we will reset it. So we'll enable this, and then we'll just take what we did down here when we reset it. And so the aim gun at Raycast is going to reset the rotation, so we don't need to worry about resetting the rotation both these times. Alright, actually let's put this under is reloading for the sake of execution order. Okay, and now if we reload, oh, we're using the wrong position, so let's go back, and when we're reloading we need to reset this to the reload position. There we go. And now, there we go. When I reload, it will hold the gun out in front of the player, but we can still shoot while reloading, so that's a problem. Let's fix that. Easy fix. So let's find our shooting. Where do we shoot the gun in the update? Right here. So can shoot is reloading equals false. Alright, now let's shoot. Try to reload. Can't shoot while reloading, but we can shoot when we're done reloading. That's what we want. Alright. Oh, and let's say we want to maybe adjust where the aim down sights is for each gun. We have this offset position I made, so if you need to move it just a tiny bit, this will move the hit scan gun just a tiny bit. Oh, see, it moves it quite a bit. So you need to use small numbers, maybe like 0.05, and that will move it up just a little. Maybe like 0.1 for the hit scan gun. And now you can see it's raised just a little bit higher. And that's how you can add an offset to each individual gun. And one last thing we want to do is actually reduce the player's move speed when aiming down sights. So let's do that. So on our player controller, or player manager, let's make a hide inspector public static bool and call this aiming down sights. Let's set it to false by default, and on start we'll set it to false. And then on our gun is aiming down sight equals player manager dot aiming down sights. Actually, other way around. And then in our FPS controller, under where the running logic is, if player manager dot aiming down sights is true, then we're going to float new run equals run speed divided by 4, and that's going to reduce the run speed, and then we're going to make a new walk speed, divide that by 4, and then our final speed is going to be is running this weird logic. And then in our else, it's going to be this old stuff. Alright, so now for aiming down sights, we'll have a new run speed and a new walk speed. So we can sprint. If we're aiming down sights, we move significantly slower when walking or sprinting. See you guys next time.
Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any more future videos.